My name is William T. Williams. I'm a painter, artist, grandfather, father, and husband. At the time I painted Walter's Advice, I'm 2 years out of graduate school at that point, and I had just moved into a new studio space. Walter and I had met each other again because we grew up with each other in North Carolina and had a long, maybe 20-year period where we hadn't seen each other. Walter Jones is a playwright, an actor, worked in numerous off-Broadway and Broadway plays. He evolved into a director, and his work is centered around the African-American community, living in the South and in the North, and the difference between the two, or the issues that are involved in that kind of period of migration. So that reunion kind of allowed me to have a entree back into my early life. And meeting another person that came from the same area that was interested in the arts was enormously helpful. The studio space became a place of dialogue between the two of us. Walter would arrive in the morning and sit in a chair and basically write all day. And I would move through the studio painting. We would stop occasionally to have conversations, but we were pretty much both engrossed in our work. I had a pinwheel that was on the studio wall. What I began to think about was the notion of circular motion, the notion of having layers of energy or layers of motion within the painting, where the spiral, the implied kind of circular movement, was in opposition to the diamond, the kind of static nation of the diamond. But it's a painting that's about playfulness. It's literally about notion of simultaneous kind of movement and simultaneous kind of energy. And it's my first attempt at having a dual dialogue within a painting. There's the geometry, and then there's a surface that's highly reflective. And that reflective surface is symbolic of the anticipation of other things. There are two different worlds that are going on. And that's really symptomatic of what was going on in my life. I was transitioning from graduate school and trying to come to terms with the formal education and the real education in terms of where and how I grew up. So that's its value to me. Looking back at the early work, I realized that there were not only the formal issues that I was involved in, but the autobiographical information was becoming more and more important. If one person walks in and sees the painting and has an experience with it, then my job has been completed. The years and years of working, the years and years of whatever occurred in the studio, there's a kind of positive conclusion in my life.